The blanket stitch is used on the outside edge of fabric. You can sew from right to left or left to right. I'm going to sew from right to left. So I'm going to come in through the back side or underneath side of my fabric, the wrong side, grab my tail and pull tight. So that way my knot catches on the back side of the fabric. Also, if you have a thread dangling out from the knot, you want to be sure to cut that off so that way you don't have any long threads dangling off of your fabric. So I'm on the right side of my fabric. I'm going to take my needle and poke down through the fabric across from where my thread is on the front side. I'm going to grab my tail and then pull, 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 pull. I'm not going to pull all the way tightly because I want to leave this loop, and this is the blanket stitch. So I'm going to take my needle and go down through this loop, or I'm going to go up through the loop. It doesn't matter as long as you are consistent. So I'm going to go down through the loop, which means I always have to go down through the loop. And now I'm going to pull tight, and that's going to create the decorative thread along the outside edge of my fabric. So I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to go over the same distance to keep consistent in the spaces between my stitches. Pull, 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 pull until I get this loop. And again, I'm going to go down through that loop. Notice every time I start the stitch, I make sure that all my threads are off to the right side because I am sewing from right to left. So that way my threads don't get all tangled together. Down through the front of my fabric, pull, pull, pull. Down through the loop. And pull tight. Through the fabric. There's the loop. Down through the loop. And pull tight. So notice you can see that it's actually overcast stitches, but they're all connected along the outside edge. And the knot is going to be on the back side. So I'm just going to flip my fabric over, take my needle, go underneath the very last stitch that I had made. Don't lift up on the stitch, otherwise you're going to loosen it. So if that does happen, you just want to pull that thread tight again. So underneath, just like you're doing the limbo, slide your needle underneath. You're going to pull that thread. There's going to be a loop that forms. Try to make your loop small so that way your threads don't get tangled. It's kind of hard to see. There's the loop. You're going to go through the loop, grab your tail, and pull tight. You're going to do this 3 times. There's one. I'm going to go underneath in the same spot. Again, trying not to lift up on my threads or underneath the fabric either. You don't want to go through the fabric, through that loop. Don't forget to go through the loop, otherwise you will not create a knot. 2, and one more time. Under the thread, or the last stitch, through the loop, and pull tight. And it doesn't matter on the ending knot which way you go through the loop. And then you're going to want to cut this thread right past the knot, right about here. Obviously, if you cut underneath of it, you're going to cut out all of your stitches. Flip it over, and that is your blanket stitch.